Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. If you're watching me, welcome. We're a couple minutes late, but welcome to the Sunday interview. Today, we're talking about marriage. I have an author who happens to be a friend who's about to launch her book on Friday, the 25th of January. And I thought I'd bring her on to speak about why did she write the book? What is it about? And potentially, to get questions from you and all of that kind of thing. So, welcome wherever you are watching me. Have you had your Sunday lunch? Oh my goodness. And how's your Sunday going? Thank you for being here. If you're in Edmonton, a special welcome because the book is actually available right here, right now. So we're happy for that. I'm going to, without any further ado, bring on my friend. We've had such wonderful times together. Please help me welcome my friend, my sister, Lilian Amaka Okocha. Hey, Lilian, how are you?
Very good, Lisa. Thank you for having me again.
I
again.
know, I know. Well, a special thank you because I know you're not the best today, but you still showed up, and we appreciate that because I think the book is so important. We're going to get into that and why you wrote it and all of that. But before we move ahead, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you, Lillian?
Okay, I'm Lilian. For some people call me Lilian. The Nigerian community will call me Amaka. So
Amaka.
everyone that stays well with you, that's still who I am. I I do call myself so in the hand of.
Okay, the audio is cutting out a little bit. Oh my goodness.
Can
What's going
you can you hear me?
Now I can. I think we probably maybe need to come up. I'm not even sure what we can do. Now I can hear the last thing you said I heard well. Okay.
I do call pencil in the hand of my creator. Can you hear me?
Now I can.
And I'm a mother and a wife for 28 years. Experience, that's a long,
Long time. Oh my gosh.
yeah. And I'm head of business administration, MBA from Athabasca University. And for the last 25 years, it's been this journey of me and relationship. I'm a marriage coach. I call it marriage coach in the sense that a lot of people, like, they don't, it means to be a coach. They say, oh, no, do you teach people? I said, no, you how to stay well in your marriage,
hmm
how to fix things in your marriage, how to be happy in your marriage, and how to make it work in your marriage. But that's who I am. And I call myself a lady with multiple feathers on my cap.
Boy,
Listen,
let's tell them. You want to tell the people before we get. Let's tease them a little bit because no, it's really true. Like the number of different things that you are good at as a person, it's amazing. So then we have the marriage coaching, which is what we want to talk about in earnest. But you're also a lot of other things. Can you? I remember one time. Remember, I came to your house one time, and was it you were going to play football or volleyball? Was it, Lillian?
sorry, could
You were going to play football or volleyball. Remember, you were on your way out to play. I was like, what?
you volleyball?
Oh my gosh.
You
So,
know,
go ahead.
look at you, look at you, Lisa. You hear the traffic light? I was like, Lisa, I know her. Yeah, you will need to keep on doing it just to keep the soul and mind together.
Yeah.
But today we'll concentrate on talking about book, the marriage, the book on.
Okay. But before we do, just to say that you're also a painter, a dress designer. I think I've actually posted you in the Think Meetups group when people have asked for fashion design or something because you're pretty good at that as well. So I mean, just a lady with many hats who happens to do this one excellently. So tell us about you and marriage coaching. Yeah, let's start there.
And let me just really led to this journey. I wrote it in my book so many years ago. I remember in Nigeria, one of the parishes where I, not just too long ago, when I parish priest said, "Oh,
Okay. Lillian, I think we might need to get the audio right because this is so important for people to hear. Do we have headphones? I wonder if we could. Um,
maybe, maybe we'll." Let me try
Okay,
something.
so while you're trying that, let me just tell the people a little bit about what's coming up. I think I have a couple promos about that I wanted to tell people about. Okay, so we have Pitch Perfect, which is coming up January 31st. It's in person here in Edmonton. And so it's going to be a 3-hour workshop um, in person where we're going to be telling people and teaching. I'll be teaching how to basically how to present and share your business with clarity and confidence, because the two things go together. I feel like that is the watchword for this year 2025. A lot of the problems that we have is between our ears. It's in our head, because if you think you can or you cannot, you are right. And in this workshop, we want to show you all the ways that your business is valuable and how to speak about and share your business from that place of, hey, I can help you. Not here I am, but hey, you've got a problem. My business solves it. And I'm going to present and speak about that business in terms of the solutions that I provide. Not about I've been established. No, nobody wants to know that. It's about, well, how can you solve somebody's problem? And a lot of the time, let me just mute that for a little while. Okay, a lot of the time we are hesitant to share the business. We think we're bothering people. But if you don't show up, nobody's going to know that you have something to offer the world. And so I think, especially in this kind of climate, especially, as a small business, you need to be your business's best champion. You need to be able to, whether you are the face of the business or not, get the communication right, because it really, really absolutely does make a difference. So that is coming up on the 31st of January. If you're in any of the groups, so it's also on my website, lisamdublin.com. You can DM me afterwards. We had 10 spots. We no longer have 10. I like to keep the speaking group small because I really go in with everybody to see, like, what are you presenting? How are you speaking? Give you tips on how to make it better. So it's pretty customized, which is why these workshops are small and powerful, and just value packed. Okay. So I think okay, here's Lilian again. We're gonna just try it. Are you excited already? You can go on her website. In fact, even before, let me just put it up here. This is Lilian's website, ufedomarriageconsulting.com/bookstore, and her book is already available for order. If you order it on her website, you actually get it cheaper than if you do it on Amazon. So Lilian, are you there? Let's see if we can make this work this time. You guys bear with us. Sometimes, this is technology. We try to make it work. It's also, I think, perhaps. Let's see, Lillian. How's that?
It, I'm
Mic check.
just trying to see how it's gonna work.
It already sounds better. It does.
Does it sound good?
Uh-huh.
Does it sound better now?
Already, yep, it
Are you
does.
sure?
Absolutely. It, like,
Okay.
there's no more
Well,
interference. They always say, like, if you use your headphones with like StreamYard, Restream, you usually get a better you know reception, whatever they call it. Okay. Mic check 1 2. Are you there?
yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Loud and powerful as usual. That's your usual. Let's
Okay.
go.
So actually, like I was saying so many years ago, can you still
See
hear
and
me
hear you
now?
clearly. Okay, and where's our chat? If you're in the chat, let us know if you can hear and see us. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I was just looking at the parish priest. I was saying how I got into marriage counseling. The parish priest, has, when I was back home in Nigeria, for some reason he saw me and said, "Oh, can you take the marriage, those after marriage?" I said, "What do you mean, Father?" He said, "I want you to talk to them." I said, "About what? I just got married.
What did you see?
What am I what am I to tell them?" He said, "I think you have something to share with them because I've seen you talk to young people even before your own wedding." I said, "Okay, that doesn't make me a marriage counselor." And that's about, people look at marriage, being a marriage coach or consulting in marriage. If you don't go to school, you don't have it. This is just grace
Mm-hmm.
of God.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes most people will come to me, they say, "Oh, which school did you go to?" I say, "I went to the school of the Holy
School of
Ghost."
hard knocks. Right.
I went to the school of the Holy Ghost. So that's how this journey started. From one family, you start saying that someone refers someone, recommends someone. Why not speak to this person? Why not speak to this person? And eventually became my ID
Yeah,
now.
that you're known as the marriage coach. So let's talk a little bit about being married for 28 years. My gosh, man, that's a long time. I was telling you that my parents recently celebrated 50 years of marriage in December. And one of the questions everybody
Mhm.
was asking them at the celebration in St. Lucia was like, how did you do it? How do you, so 50 is like phenomenal, even 28. What are the biggest lessons? Let's start there. What are the biggest lessons that you've learned about marriage in your 28 years of being married?
One of the core thing I learned in this journey is
Patience.
patience. That is one of because take for instance, you have a sibling. They can get on your nerves
Oh, yeah, all the
sometimes,
time.
right?
Yeah.
And you feel like I want to choke them, right? I'm sorry to don't come to my space. Yes, this is somebody totally different from your background, different from your understanding, different from your culture, different from everything, and both of you are sharing the same space. One of the beautiful thing again I learned in this journey is make an
Hmm.
excuse. Don't be
As in,
judgmental.
give them the benefit of the doubt kind of thing.
Yes, don't be
Okay.
judgmental. Sometimes I was working with couple recently. You can the little thing you least expect to make them fight in their marriage. Said he always pee, he doesn't clean the bath,
Yes.
the toilet. He pee, he doesn't clean. I said, okay, but we can fix this. He said, no, he should do that. I said, why not see it as his weak point and help him to heal it?
Wow. So what?
So I learned patience and I learned making an excuse for the other person. Don't be judgmental. It could be that they don't know.
Okay.
So I also learned something in my journey of 28 years to know that my partner, my husband, is uniquely made for
Yeah.
me. I am the only square hole that will fit, the square peg that will fit in the
Yeah.
square hole.
Yeah.
So if I won't be expecting me being a square hole, peg to fit in a circle hole. I fit perfectly where I am meant to be.
I'm so happy you followed up those two things. Like, if we can, because the next question I was coming to ask you, and I suspect on behalf of many wives out there, is at which point does he learn? At which point does he learn to, in the case of the toilets, for example, at which point do you learn to clean up after yourself if I'm always giving you grace? I'm sure everybody out there is thinking that question. Balance that with the fact that there are things in a marriage where you can see that the two people are uniquely made for each other. I know for me, that was like, I remember when you want to tell our story. I know at Lilian was recently honored in October of last year. Lilian was honored. What was the award again? Lilian, can you remind me, please?
Award of volunteerism from
From
Athabasca
Athabasca. She
University.
was honored right here in Edmonton from Athabasca University. There was a lovely dinner for her, and I was honored to be there. And it was very nice where we got to really talk about how we met and how she's been such a light in the community, where keeping families together, marriages in particular, are concerned within her faith as Catholic and within the wider community, just as married people. Like, there are problems that come up all the time, and I was saying the way she and I met was in the supermarket. It's a,
At the peak of COVID, remember?
exactly. And COVID was a time, I think, where relationships were very much revealed. And if there were things that were good, they were highlighted. If there were things that were bad, they were also highlighted, because you were in the space, like you had been before. And one thing Lillian told me, we had almost like a marriage counseling session right there. And I'll never forget you saying to me, yeah, what if your husband was uniquely made for you? And that, like, it was a light bulb my head, and it kind of countered everything. Sometimes we don't like this, we don't like that. But what if the balance of the things you don't like is the fact that you couldn't get the things that you do anywhere else? What if that was the counter? So you teach that a lot in your counseling sessions, Lillian?
Yes, I do. I do, especially some people find it very difficult to understand why will I keep on when there is no changes? Why will I continue? Is it one-sided? And what do we talk about change? Change is when you're trying to help somebody to be a better person and the person really want to change. But I do tell people, look at it that they don't know this. They want to learn and the attitude will bring, be it a wife, be it a husband, also helps the other person. Take for instance, if I am not
Mm-hmm.
doing well, I'm learning an apprentice from you, for instance. I'm just giving you a life experience. I'm learning an apprentice, let's say painting. And you've taught me several times how to correlate colors, right? How not to put colors like I know orange is a crazy color in painting, yellow is a crazy color. No matter what you do, it's going to bleed. It empowers all the color. Now you've taught me all this. And each time I go about making the same mistake, do you kick me away? Do you throw me out of that training team? No. You want me to know because I'm your result, I'm your
Oh
report
wow! Oh my
card
God, that is amazing.
the end of the day, and at the end of the day, you have the pride to say, I taught this person how to do this very well. But if you kick me out of the site, what kind of report do you think you're going to get? And the same way I tell couple, the way you treat yourself in the work environment, do that in your marriage because you go to your boss one on one, you have one on one performance review. What have I done in the previous day? How can I improve on it? Is it possible for husband and wife to sit down? Don't stand up because what kills us is that we stand up, we argue at each other, we say things to each other. Is it possible you go get him his nice drink, get him his wine, get him whatever drink he like? Sit down, turn on. I learned something recently. Turn on the waterfall on your television and begin to listen. Talk to him. Said, please, I just want us to have this chat. Don't raise your voice. I've done it over and over again. Listen, I'm going to tell you, even couples. One called me and said, I don't know where you found this theory, but it
It can't,
works.
yeah, exactly. It works. Does it ever not work? I'm thinking, for example, sometimes it's not just always the husband in a marriage. You can have somebody who's very narcissistic, for example. Yeah. So what happens?
Absolutely.
Like, do you continue to be the suffering person, and that person won't ever change because the narcissism is actually being fed? I, I'm not sure. Like, I'm just asking. What does it ever not work, Lillian? Have you had couples where, yeah,
Of course, I've had couples that the struggle never worked because the other person already have a
yeah.
paradigm shift. He said no, even before you utter a word, they already made up their mind what they are going to
Mm-hmm,
respond to you. They made up their mind where they're
mm-hmm,
going to stay. They made up their mind what their life is going to be like. So no matter what you try to do, they will not respond to it because they already concluded this is what is going to happen. So when you have such people,
mm-hmm.
what do? That is where a wife, if you are in this program, I apologize, and you're not a Christian, I
Oh
deeply
yeah, we need to,
apologize
to say
because
that it's Christian
yeah,
counseling.
yeah, I need to really apologize if you're not a Christian listening to this program. But if you are any other faith, any other religion, I know there are rules and ethics of your faith or your religion that says these are how to do with things that have to do with individual morals. So I apologize if whatever I'm going to say is going to hurt you, but this is the approach where I come from. And that is where I begin to tell women to go on bended knees,
Mm-hmm. Yep,
pray for
yep.
your husband,
Mm-hmm.
pray for peace in your home. Nobody, if you notice that narcissistic behavior is something that in the last 3 years become very, very obvious. It wasn't there. It was there, but we don't see more of it. We
Yeah.
don't discuss it. Now it becomes so obvious that any little attitude you could see someone said, oh, that person is suffering from the disorder, the other person is suffering with disorder. You have to keep on discussing. I've seen couple with this situation. I say, keep on, don't give up, keep on. It's just like when you read the book Outliers. The outliers tell you constant repetition of what you are doing going to
That's
make it
Malcolm
part of you.
Gladwell's book,
Don't
right? Malcolm Gladwell's nice.
yeah, yeah. Don't give up. Keep on talking. Keep on talking. Keep on talking. Because take for instance, it's not your husband, it's your
Mm.
child that chose to be rebellious. Are you going to disown that
Yeah.
child? Are you going to throw that child away? You're going to work hard to see the better part of that child. So the same thing, bring it home. Look at your partner. I thought with this, you're no longer two now, you're one. It's like you are seeing a reflection of you. But the other part of your reflection is not meeting up to the standard that you so
Mm-hmm.
much desire. So what do? You want that part of you to be good. And that's why you have to keep on doing the
Mm-hmm.
same thing, having that chat over and over again, and it's going to
Okay.
work.
All right. Oh, I was just trying to switch things over to kind of give you the. Lillian, I want to say something. Do you realize this is the coach and me talking now? You can see how you have a passion for this. So we started, and it was a little like low key. Look at how excited you are now that you've gotten into the topic. You see how you know you were meant for something? Oh my goodness, look at you.
That's
It
my word. That's my word. You need to, Lisa, know the right button to press anytime, any day. I said, Lisa, know how to press the right button. And you
I
do.
try because you're just in your
Mm.
calling. The way that you, and even when you were honored in October for that volunteerism award, lots of married people came up to speak about how you had saved their marriages. And it wasn't just the women, which was amazing that you are also able to speak to the husbands in the marriage and to say hard things to them in a way, the tough love kind of approach that gets them back on track with their spouses. You want to talk a little bit about that as well?
I was one of the guests that came to my event. She was with me yesterday, and we were driving somewhere because of this book
Yeah,
launch
we have
coming.
to
We're
talk
trying
about
to put
it.
one
Yeah.
together. She said something to me. My husband doesn't allow people talking about our marriage, but I didn't know how you get him to meet
How
you.
did you do that?
And I said, and I said, okay. Actually, what happened was that I know them one on one. I know his wife and his children one on one. And I decided to ask him, I want to see, you're a journalist. He said, yes. I said, you like writing about people? He said, yes. I said, how would you feel tomorrow when you become a news that others have to read? He said,
Mm.
he said, whoa, is anybody trying to blackmail me? I said, no. Why not we see? Let's try and see if anybody. He arranged the meeting and we met. By the time we finished, you know
Mm.
what he told me? I am not just going to fix my marriage. I'm going to be part of my children's life. Few days later, the wife said he rang the doorbell and came with a suitcase and
Back
back.
home, eh? Yeah, wow.
And the question, what did you tell my husband that made him to come back? I said, why not ask your husband, what did he hear? He said, she did not sugarcoat it. She was talking to me like my big sister. After talking to you, if you don't put your head straight, I'm going to spank you. So that, I don't know how it happens, but I will just tell you the truth, no matter how bitter it is. I'm going to let you know
Wow.
that. And because whenever I tell you that, and when children are involved, that's where it gets me very passionate. If children are involved, I want to make sure that they are not tangled in that cobwebs
Yeah.
of rubbish. I want them to be okay because at the end of the day, they are the one that experience
Yeah.
it
Oh
most.
my goodness. Okay, so we gonna have a comment here from Sienna. Sienna herself is also a marriage coach in St. Lucia. She said, "I'm enjoying this, Lisa. Thanks for that discussion." So thank you for that comment, Sienna. So the question is, how does a healed marriage affect the children? We hear of the horror stories. Let's hear because like obviously in marketing whatever you want to sell the result, right? You want to sell the result, not the problem. So if people were to
Mhm.
hear this today and be like, oh, let me try it, why should you try? What are the great positive effects of having a marriage that works the way God intended it to?
Okay, I'm going to speak about a couple I met 18 years ago. So they were having a little bit of issue in their marriage, and I looked at both of them and said, these kids, you have two kids. In the next 16 years, the decision you make today will determine if you will still be part of their lives or not. The lady told me, I don't care. I said, you will care. Because the way you want to sneak out, I use that word. I don't use it. I don't I use it very, very carefully. The way you want to sneak out of this relationship, let you know that somebody wants to sneak in. And when that person sneaks in, the person will stand a better position to love your children. And what would
Oh,
you do?
Mama Bear.
And I said, okay, how about that person that sneaks in happen to be your best friend? How would you feel? She will show love. Of course, you rejected that spot. She occupied that spot. So she never paid attention to it. She snuck out of the marriage. I called her, I said, come back. Come back for the sake of these children. You might have the whole money because one of the biggest issue they had in that marriage was communication, lack of
Okay.
communication. Have a
Mm-hmm.
discussion.
And so you taught
Is
them
is
you
he
taught
go
them
back?
how to communicate after that to make it better.
Yes, I did. At the end of the day, you know
Yeah.
what happened? She came back. She told me, I'm not coming back because of him. I came back because of my children.
Okay.
I said, just do that for the sake of those children. And I called her last 4 months. I said, are you still there because of the children? I said, oh, you must be crazy, Lilian. I'm there because of my
Hey.
husband. I love my husband. I said, wow, really? He said, yes, now we discuss. We are not at each other's throat. One of the biggest issue I realize in this when couple go through these challenges is they tend not to understand that children are very
And they
sensitive.
know what's going on. That's what I realized.
They don't do you have kids, they don't do what you ask them to do. They do what they see
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
About a few months ago, exactly 110 days today, I was lying down here 2 a.m. My phone rang. And I grabbed my phone 2 a.m. He said, Auntie, I kind of got into fierce argument with my wife and police were
God.
involved. I said, police were involved? He said, yes. I said, okay, I'm on my
That's
way.
what I was here in Edmonton then. Yeah.
I said, I'm
Mm-hmm.
on my way. I drove down to their house. I spoke to the wife. The anger was there. And that is why I said, make an excuse so that you don't be judgmental. I told the lady, I spoke in a dialect. I said, try to make an excuse. She said, no, I'm not making. I spoke in the local dialect. She
Mm.
responded in English. I said, be careful of what you're writing because in the next 1 week, you won't like what is coming after you. I went to the man. And that is when I told the man, you've made a mistake, but I want you to learn from your mistake.
Mm-hmm.
He came to my house. We had a long discussion. He said, Auntie, could you walk in to counsel us in this marriage? Today is exactly
Mm-hmm.
110 days. We started the journey. And I took them, showed them what could be the possible way of making these innocent children not to be part of your mess. And do you know the result is that they are just very happy
Yeah.
now.
So is it that's such a great story, a great ending. Is it your conclusion, Lillian, that most marriages can work if they get help? You think that's a fair estimation? I always say like for marriage and for parenting, we were not born with the knowledge of how to do it. And these are some of the areas where people suffer the most in their personal relationships, in parenting, in marriage, because like you don't have the manual, and do you feel like most marriages can make it if there's proper intervention and people willing to do the work?
Actually, the first thing is first question to ask is, are they willing to
Yeah,
make it work?
that's yeah.
If they are not willing to make it work, it is a battle to make it work. But I've seen a situation whereby it's one-sided. It's either the he is trying to make it work and the she said it's not going to work, or the she is trying to make it work and the he is trying to say sorry, because their mind is already made to step out
Because
of it.
sometimes you're just tired. I have this friend. She's been married. She's a lot about 10 years older than I am. Been married longer. And right now she's in her view she's living her best life. they're still, you know how when you're married but not really married, like you're still in the same home. You're married
Married
but
but
single.
single.
Yes.
It's a
Oh my
chapter in my book.
goodness. Now we have to literally talk about the book in a little bit. Yes, we have to married but single. So they're doing that. And she's like, I'm tired. I've tried everything and it didn't work. So I just like the children are grown. They're overseas right now. There's nothing left to give. Like, what do you say to you think those kinds of marriages are also redeemable?
It is because I had a couple. Everything I share in my any of my conferences,
Uh-huh.
seminars, it come from a life experience. I had a couple I was talking to. You know what broke
Mm-hmm.
them down? And I asked one of them. I said, if this person is sick
Mm-hmm.
now and needed
Uh-huh.
you, and you need somebody to be at the hospital, who do you think
Yeah.
will be there? Your
Mm-hmm.
brothers? The lady told me, hell no, my brother won't. Your sister? He said, my sister? No, I will be in her social media page with my problem. I said, who do you think that will go above and beyond to be there? He said, Felix. I said, who is Felix? He said, my
Oh.
husband. I said, then I want you to go and make sure that at that time when you need Felix, he's going to be
Right, by
there.
the actions that you do right now.
Good, good. It has ripple
Mm-hmm.
effect. If you want to serve the food good, so the best thing is to make sure that you don't put excess spice condiment in the food, so that when you finish preparing the food, you can have a beautiful
Oh
meal.
my goodness, that's that. Do you see how many gems she's dropping here, y'all? And Sienna, of course, is just enjoying the discussion as well because she's that kind of long suffering person as well. Before we go into the book, okay, let's look at the book first. It's called Ufedo. Tell us about the title, about the meaning of the title. I'm pretty sure our Nigerian community would know what it is, and we're what I love about the show is that I love that I'm straddling cultures. So we bring in Caribbean culture as well as African culture into here. And making a lovely mix and lovely understanding of the diversity and the bridges between us. So there's the cover. It's beautiful, by the way, Lilian. Congratulations on how wonderful it
Thank you,
looks.
Steve.
And you guys, I'm gonna put it's in the chat if you want to go order the book already. You can. It launches officially on Friday, but then I'm going to keep quiet and you tell us about this wonderful book.
So, where the title Ufedo actually, Ufedo means love. So, a few years back, about 5 years ago, one of our community members, after the prayer group, he said, Sister, can I have a chat
Mhm.
with you? I said, sure, I don't mind. And he said, I want you to talk to someone about. He said, she's depressed and she's going through a lot. I don't want to tell you anything, but I want you to meet her and
Mhm.
talk to her. And I said, what made you think when I talk to her, things are going to be okay? He said, but please try and talk to her. I said, okay, but I want you to give me a hint. Tell me
Mhm.
about her. She said, okay, she lost her husband and it kind of got into her so deeply. And I know you're dealing with widows. You'll have a lot of widows that you take care of. Maybe you have the right language to use that she will not feel offended. I said, sure. I called this sweet lady. When she picked the call, I introduced myself, say, oh, yes, I'm aware you're going to call. And I say, tell me about what you shared with your man. So her story was that she got married to this very handsome young man called Kinsley. 2 years into their marriage, with the presence of a child, she lost her husband. She loved him so much that the child today is 17 years, she refused to remarry.
Ooh.
But whenever the family, the husband's late husband's family hit on her, like they talk to her in a way that kind of bleeds her spirit, she would say, okay, it's just because of Kingsley that I'm still here. And I asked her, what is your name? She said, my name is Ofedo.
Meaning love.
Ofedo
Yeah.
means love. And I want to leave my name. I want to leave my name in
So that was her
office.
real name, right? Ufedo was her real name. Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
that's her name. So Ofedo is a language, a spoken language from the middle belt of Nigeria. So if you know it culturally, Nigerians have a unique way of naming their children. There is nobody without a name that have a unique meaning.
God is
Oh yeah.
great. Yep.
Tell
Praise.
me about that. We have a lot of things that makes our name so unique. Like when you hear a name from any African person, especially West African, there is always a very unique meaning to it. And that's about the same time I was looking for a topic for my book. And that name,
Ufedo.
Fedo, came to be. But what happened? I made an acronym out of
Right. Yes.
Fedo.
Let's talk about
The U is the
that. Uh-huh.
understanding. The F is the
Mm-hmm.
faithfulness. The E is encouragement. The D is the dedication. And the O could be the unoneness or openness, which are the most important thing you need in a relationship. Be it a relationship with your spouse, be it a relationship at work, be it a relationship with your siblings, or even a relationship with your
Yeah.
children. These things play role in your relationship.
Wow.
You cannot work with in a relationship where you lack understanding, faithfulness, encouragement, dedication, openness, or what they call oneness. You cannot succeed. You need it to play key
Mm-hmm.
role. So that's how the name of Fedo came about, which is exactly what we find in 1 Corinthians 13,
Yeah.
4 to 8. It's all
Okay,
about love.
that's awesome. And you know how you and I were discussing, like even the name and the way that you've put it into the acronym to be so meaningful. Like that is just the foundation of a course on marriage, Lillian. I think that's the next we're looking for from you to
Yeah.
have that course that people can go through and learn how to do this thing called marriage right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So and it's a lovely book too. I love the cover. I absolutely love it. So
Thank
yes, for
you,
sure. I
sis.
put the URL in the chat. If you're listening, I don't know if it goes out on LinkedIn, but I know definitely YouTube. If you are on YouTube, by the way, if you're on YouTube and you have not subscribed to Basement Chronicles, just hit the subscribe button, please. Then hit the like button if this is really giving you value today, and share it in your WhatsApp groups and everywhere. Because you know what, that is how we get the message out, and that's how we make the world a better place by sharing the ideas and the things that are positive around us and that happen to us. So this is one of them we're hoping. So it's a ufedomarriageconsulting.com/bookstore. You can go find out more. Lillian, last thing I wanted to discuss. Oh my gosh, Lillian and I have the best conversations, the best. So this is just an overflow of how when we get together we talk, right? um I've kind of noticed, um you- I would like your thoughts on this thought about, it seems that a lot of the time new couples are not willing to be long suffering anymore. I can literally hear newly married young people being like, why do I need to be long suffering? You should come with the entire package. Okay, like if it's not working, there's always the option to leave, and it's an option that people exercise, it seems, a lot more quickly than before. Like older folk, older couples seem to endure more in marriage and want to fight for it a lot more to make things happen, even at times when it almost seemed like it was 100% on one side and zero on the other. They would still keep on fighting. I'm not sure, it might be because women's rights, we're more independent, we've got more options right now. But I just find even in our younger generations, there's not the people are not wanting to be long suffering anymore. I don't know why I'm struggling to say this, but I hope you understand. And what do you think about that? About being long suffering or patient in a marriage?
Some people call it long suffering. And I'm going to tell,
Uh-huh.
okay. Somebody, a lady from Calgary said
Mm-hmm.
something to me. She said, "What is your view about separation in marriage?" I said, "No, it's not my view. If you are in a relationship that is
Mm-hmm.
toxic, that word, toxic, that you're beginning to see your beautiful color, pink like you're wearing, begin to look like red,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
you need to seek for help. You need to look for somebody you can trust to talk to.
Okay.
You need to get out of that relationship until that person, he or she, decide to go to a psychiatric hospital and come back to ascertain that they fully take their medication, quote and unquote, before you step back
Mm-hmm.
in. If you've been following Nigerian news, there is one of the Nigerian best gospel singer. She died in a
Yes,
toxic
I heard
marriage.
that. Yeah, I forgot her name now. Yeah. Yes,
Osinachi,
yes.
Osinachi, she was trying to protect. She doesn't want anybody to know that she's going through storm and challenges in the marriage until that ended the life. Yes, there could be a very difficult relationship that will not work, especially when both bent that I'm, I don't want it to work, and I'm done, I'm out. So what I tell people when, especially when it's so tough and difficult to work things out, it is allowed to take a break. But you and I think we had issue in our marriage. Wait for the generations coming.
You think it's going to be even worse, and why?
He's gonna he's gonna be worse than what we've seen. Because they are zero tolerance. Take
Zero
your
tolerance.
kids.
Yeah. Okay.
When things are not working as expected, what do you expect they do? They get very upset, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will be on the side,
Yep.
okay, calm down,
Coaching them.
look at it
Mm-hmm.
again. Why not relax? They don't have the kind of patience you and I have. So what do I recommend? I said, okay, take some classes. I tell younger folks that want to go into a relationship, take some classes on how to deal with conflict, because those are the things they need to learn how to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Learn how to deal with conflict. Because if they don't understand that, no matter what you do, they will still, and especially nobody, no, everyone works. Everybody have their own money. Why can't I go outside and be happy and enjoy my money? Why am I going to
Or
stop
check into a
investing?
hotel for
From
a whole week because I'm making my own money, so I don't need to be in the
of
yeah.
course. So that is what my next discussion is. It because if both of you have been working together, you know that it is not my money, it is our money.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's when you begin to discuss, okay, I can decide to go out, but what happens? I've seen a situation that couple decide to separate from their relationship, and both couple are sick now.
Wow.
Sick. Yeah, both of them are sick. So it's obvious. I told the man involved in this, I said, don't you think that you need to reconcile with your wife to be
Mm.
healed? He said, I don't think so. I said, open, initiate
Mm-hmm.
discussion. He started talking, and he told me, I've not had my medication for the last 2 months and I'm
Ooh.
okay. I said, you see, so problem in our relationship is also a
Mm-hmm.
disease.
Right.
It's a
Yes.
sickness. Because if there is that problem, you realize you don't have peace of mind, you don't rest again, you don't sleep. When you see the person, you tend to start having palpitation. This, little by little, they begin to turn into
Big
a big
health
thing.
problems. You're right. Yes. Health problems as
Good.
well.
So to keep us healthy too, let us try as much as we can. Discussing our situation is very, very important.
Yeah.
Discussion. You can't make mistake.
Like, you know, okay. I like to keep it nice and light here, because it's not the hard hitting kind of interview, whatever. But Lillian, about this thing, we've kind of skirted about it, mentioned it and not mentioned it. But do you think marriages can come back from domestic violence? Like, I feel like it's one of those houses on fire situations that I always say, um, if there is domestic violence, what's the point of staying there? This house is burning down. Like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy to be in that kind of situation. That if you want to continue, can you do it by extracting yourself from the situation? That's how I. Yeah.
That's what that's what I just say, that if one is in a toxic relationship,
Yes.
especially whereby the violence is overbearing, you step
Yeah.
out.
The-
Step out. You need to be alive for yourself and for your children. I have a saying, I say it all the time. Nobody is going to represent me in the lives of my
exactly.
children.
Yeah.
That means I need to be
Well, I
alive
also need to
to
be
be
alive for
them.
myself. Like, okay, since because too, like, we both believe in God, we both are Christians. The one thing that I've always said where that is concerned, is that I'm a child of God. Like my God does not treat me that way. I'm not going to take
Mhm.
it. And if it for me it's like get out. If let's see if we can solve it, because clearly there's a problem that you think that it's
Mhm.
okay to hit me, to perpetuate that in the to put that into the marriage. Like there's something wrong. I no, I'm just I for me it's a hard stop. It's unacceptable. I wasn't made for this. I'm so sorry. Like no, let's figure things out after we get out of the situation.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
sometimes I find, even when we tell people to be long suffering as well, sometimes you find it's, if you don't say don't take that, it's almost like it gets included in being long suffering. And
Mhm.
well, as you are saying, basically no. If it's a toxic relationship, including this kind of violence, get out is not right.
No, it's not the right place to stay. You
Mm-mm.
can think, because it could even mean that once you step out, because there is a couple, the young man was asked to leave by the police,
Yeah,
and he left. He stayed outside, woke up in the morning the other day. By the fifth day, he started asking for peace.
of course.
You
Yes.
know why? Because he now found out that there was something in his life that was missing, his wife. And when he's coming back, he has to come back a different person. If
Mm.
sometimes there is necessary to have that kind of bridge, that gap, so
Yeah.
that this person will understand themselves, this person will understand themselves before you can now come together to say, okay, now we have this disagreement.
Yeah.
Can we disagree in order to agree?
Mm-hmm.
For our sake and the sake of our children, which did not ask for what they are going through. So
Exactly.
it's good when couple are having those kind of, I call them um, tantrums happening in their marriages.
Mm-hmm.
It's better to ask yourself, how do we fix it? If some of them don't even want to talk to each other. They live in the house, but they have boundaries. You don't enter the kitchen when I'm in the kitchen. You don't walk on the hallway when I'm walking in the hallway. You don't sit in the living room and watching the television. You have your space, I have my space. It's becoming very toxic because you hear the kids saying, "Oh, mom, don't turn on the television. It's daddy's time. Dad, don't turn on the television. It's mommy's time. Oh, you are getting into mommy's space. You are getting into daddy's space." Do you see already teaching the young mind how to separate each other? No,
Mm-hmm.
you those couples need to seek counsel ASAP.
Right. Okay. So the next thing we did not say, apart from having written the book, you, as well as you constantly are counseling people, coaching people in marriage, and on that same website, you can book a session with Lilian. It's all there, ufedomarriageconsulting.com. If you are listening to this today and you're like, okay, let me give it one more go, or I'm not satisfied, I'm not happy in my marriage, and I want to try to fix it in 2025, reach out to this lovely lady. I'm telling you, like, yeah, yeah. If anybody can help you, it's
I
Lilian.
hear you.
Yes, Lilian, I want to ask you about the process of writing the book, my sister. How was it for you? How long did it take? Like, did you feel inspired? And, just tell us a little bit about the process of writing Ufedo. I'll pull it up again. Hmm. Can you hear me? Lilian? Are you there? Hi, Lilian. Okay, something seems to have gone wrong there. Are you enjoying the interview so far, folks? Lillian, I can't hear you anymore. Um, Something's going on, you guys. But if you are, can you hear? No. Um, no. No, no sound anymore. What happened? Did we just lose you? You want to try again? There's no sound on this. Okay, guys, if you're listening, you've probably heard a lot of what Lillian has to offer as a marriage coach and writer. Lillian, are you there? Nothing? Oh, okay. So, well, it's good to have a teaser and say to people, go out, get the book, support this push. We need healthy families. When your marriage is healthy, everybody. If your marriage is healthy, you're healthier. Okay. you're in a better mood, like you're able to produce more. I know for sure I could not be doing this if I didn't have the support of my husband. Like I would not be close to doing all that I can be. It's just because he's there with me all the time. He's there with our kids. Yeah. Okay, Lillian. Lillian says she can't hear me either. So let me see. Let me just, I hope, no, mic check one, two. Not sure what's going on. Okay. Let me just, we'll probably end now. Let me just tell her that. We'll end now because I can't hear you either. Lillian. Okay, you guys. Sorry that it has to end like this, but please go and support. Get the book Ufedo. As you can see, she put a lot of work into that book, and you're going to be blessed. It launches on Friday. So, to her credit, it's all sold out for the launch. I can't even invite anybody to the launch. It's on Friday. The book, however, is already available. If you go to her website, as I said, you get it cheaper than if you buy it on Amazon. Oh my gosh. But go buy it from the book from her website. And my go-to, like, MO is, if something's not working, try to fix it. Does anybody else feel that way? Like, if, especially if it's something in your life, and if it's not working, that's okay. Like, not everything works out the bat, but my God, let's try to get help and fix the things. It requires effort, but life is effort, right? It takes as much effort to stay in a bad relationship as it does to try to fix it. So might as well go and get it fixed and enjoy the benefits of that. So this, I hope you enjoyed the interview. As I said, like, reach out to Lillian, if you are that person who's looking for any kind of marriage advice before, during, I don't know about after, maybe after as well. Like, she'll get you ready for the next one. But she's really good at what she does, and I hope that came out today. Thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday interview. We called it Upgrade Your Marriage. So I hope that kind of helped you out, you guys. And I'll see you during the week when we go live Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Bye, everybody. Take care. And don't forget, Pitch Perfect is coming up in Edmonton. So if you are listening and you are in the city and you have a small business and you want to learn those communication skills that will help you to share your business with clarity and confidence, come out to Pitch Perfect. I'll tell you more about it. It's on the website as well, and you can check it out.